Good evening, everybody. Welcome to COMBE TV, episode 27, with myself, Dawsey. Should be Davis as well, but I'm not sure where he is at the minute. I think he may have. I think he's had a tough day. He may have fallen asleep, and he'll join us in a little bit, hopefully. But welcome, everybody, and great to see you. And it is a preview of a fantastic race day. Now, I'm going to do a couple of things. First things first, I'm going to bring up onto stream. It's just rotating around them, but we've got these improved cameras that we're going to be able to enjoy. Not all of them are up, but Kev's been doing an incredible job. And I'm going to bring this up now, and I'm going to put it up to full screen so you can see. These obviously will be not just rotating around like this. So there we've got Folly heading up Avon Rise, and we've got S's into Old Paddock there. Look at the quality of that. And there we go round Tower by the looks of it. That's up Avon Rise into Quarry. The Quarry one's not working yet. That's looking back across at the start-finish line as they come towards us. We got pit lane, of course, because we've also got the pit stop in the Dave Allan, and there's looking back at camp so we can see what happens there. And there we go, back to Folly. So the one that's missing that's not set up at the moment is the one up into at Quarry, so that we're going to be able to see it. The Avon Rise one is there, so there's the Avon Rise into the start of Quarry, and we will then basically have another one that will show you the rest of Quarry Corner. We're going to have ambient noise from the track as well. That's going to be sorted out. Kev's working hard on that. And equally, we're going to have a static camera in the Parc Ferme area with a microphone on a stand that will be cleaned down in between each one. And John Moon will be down there grabbing the interviews. So hopefully that'll be in on a wired connection there. Kevin's just working his heart out at the moment. And what you're going to actually find is that we're going to have 9 camera slots. So it's going to be in a square, so they'll be better proportioned. The middle one's actually going to be the tracking map from TSL. And then it's going to work its way round. The cameras are going to work its way round that circuit. That's the idea. That's what we're looking for. And Kevin's going to actually be sat behind me so that when we need to, he's going to zoom in either onto 4 at a time or into one of them in particular if there's something we need to see closely. So fingers crossed that's going to work well. Will the cameras be sequential? Mike Cotton says. Mike, I'm not sure what you mean. Whether you mean they're going to be rotating around, ignore what it's doing now. It's not going to be doing that. We're going to be in control manually. In terms of what I just said there is that the track map in the middle, and it's going to work its way round that track map. And it'll all make sense there, which basically, Mike, is what you were saying. So fair play. That's along the lines that we will be having. At the moment, this is just a test that's getting everything in. Kevin's still there now working and wiring some bits and pieces. So thank you very much for the comments that are saying, Ben Oggs, you're not sinking boats tonight then, Ben? Well, that's much better. 10 out of 10, lads. Thank you, mate. Lewis Bird says, hello, mate. He's looking forward to Saturday. I'm looking forward to seeing you out as well, mate. Ben Hindle, who says, hey, outdoorsy. And he also says, awesome, much better as well. Absolutely, I agree. And Rob Drew says, looking good. And Duncan Harris, great job, fantastic quality, very well done. And let me just say, we got Ross Parker as well from the Parker household. Excellent cameras. Thank you, mate. Stephen Wynne Mosley, what switcher are you using there? Not a clue. It's basically something that we're not doing. It's just while he's testing the bits and pieces. So it's not relevant to what we're going to be doing there. So don't panic about that. And Chris Mason, don't rub in that you're down enjoying the sunshine, mate. But morning, Dawsey. You just got up, have you, Mason? I got you. And as to be expected, Darren Duffield says, well, looking forward to Saturday. Cameras look great. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Kevin will appreciate that, the work that he's putting in. And Ben Ogg says, no, back on dry land now, pumped for the weekend. Good man. And Emma Mason as well. At least you say evening, Emma. Chris Mason's only just got up judging from his morning comments. So this is what we are going to be getting over the weekend. I'm really excited about this. I mean, it is so good. And I think the plan is to try and have it so that race control can have some of these cameras during the rest of the time as well. Paul Wiltshire, really looking forward to Saturday. First marshal attendance this year away from the course car. Make sure you do, mate. And in fact, look, further afield, Dave Luck, hello, mate. Looks good. Be watching from Cadwell. Good job. And absolutely, I agree, Kevin Mason. Sorry, Chris Mason. Kevin's doing a good job. You know what I meant. That's the one. So that is what we're going to be having during the course of that. And thank you to Kevin again, Andy Lawrence, great job on the cameras. Thank you, mate. That is the static cameras. We already had that set up, and it's basically Kevin's going to be doing the job behind me. That was the only bit that we didn't have, is someone switching, and Kevin's doing it himself. So that was the only thing that was missing. Apologies for the misunderstanding there, Andy. Chris Parr, Papa Parr, evening, Chris. Looking like a great setup for Saturday. Cameras looking good. Jackie Fay, wow, new cameras are a big step forward. Do you know what, Jackie? It's not new cameras. It's actually that everything's been rewired and all sorts of things, and working out distances between things, found additional power sources. I don't want to ask. I have no idea, but he's done wonders there. I wondered what the cable was for at the end of the pit wall when I was marshalling last weekend. Probably our fault, I would imagine. And Chris Morris, any Facebook live cams from within the cars? No, not this time. There isn't. You never know. You never know. But hopefully it won't be necessary. We'll have you all back at the next one with a bit of luck. But Tim Perry, evening, mate. What amazing cameras. Thank you. Emma Strawford. Hello, Em. Welcome to the show. And yeah, awesome work by Kevin. Emma Mason saying the quality is looking amazing. Well done, Kev. And crew. Absolutely. Totally agree. Talking about crew, I've now got my crew back again. I'm just going to remove that from the thing. He's got himself out of bed now. Welcome. Oh. You haven't even got a t-shirt on, eh?
It's been one of those days. It's
I'm covering both sides of my t-shirt. I've got the
well done, mate.
The gin,
well
see?
Done. Yeah, no, well done. It's sorry, it's been hectic today. I've got childcare issues at the moment, so didn't actually make it in, and been working from home and juggling. Yeah, you know, the usual stuff, mate. The usual stuff. It's been a really busy week as well. So the track's been nice and busy, and it's all good. So it's all good.
You certainly look tired, mate. So let's just relax and have a giggle.
Evening, Thomas. It's all good. Yeah, no, I just ran. The computer decided that it needed to. It kept saying that I had something logged in, and it didn't, and then so I'm on the Mac now. So yeah,
it's fine, mate. Don't you panic. You saw that we had plenty to show people. I mean, how impressive is that? What Kevin's been creating there, and just again, Sarah Barnes, thank you, fantastically. You've certainly worked hard for our viewing pleasure. You're always working hard for my viewing pleasure, aren't you?
I was going to say, I thought she was talking about me and you. Well, crikey, she's easily pleased. Yeah, no, they look great. No, absolutely. I've seen the emails go backwards and forwards, and brilliant, really great, really good stuff. So
obviously, we've still got to keep everything crossed, because as soon as we get to the day and we've got all the people in the paddock there, and suddenly technology starts potentially creaking at seams, and cars breaking cables that we've had in the last one as well. Fingers crossed it'll all work okay. Clive Woodward's going to be over at Old Paddock, and we got a slightly tweaked setup there, I believe. That means that even if we lose the camera feed to him, which I know we had in the early stages with Ian Salmon, the audio in theory will keep going, which of course in reality is all that we need, because by that point we turn the camera to just the circuit anyway, so it's not a problem if we lose that, but we'll still get the audio, the commentary, which will be good. Clive himself coming in, great job, Kevin. Look forward to commentating from Old Paddock on Saturday. Absolutely, mate. He'll be gutted though, because we've hopefully set it up a lot better than you and he had to deal with for the interviews, in that we should hopefully have a static camera that is going to be basically looking at where we've got a static microphone, and that we've got this spray that literally within 15 seconds kills everything dead on it, but doesn't cause a problem with fluid on the electronic device, and that will be sort of cleaned down in between each person, and then the next driver will be put there. John Moon stood far enough back on another mic with a headset connected to us, so he should be able to hear that. And he'll just be able to fire questions at them. They'll do it, and we should have them on camera. As always, Tom, I'm nervous as hell, because once it gets to the day, mate, it's terrifying, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a circus missing a ringmaster somewhere, isn't there? I think saying goes, isn't it?
That's probably the nicest thing you've ever said to me, Tom.
an infinite amount of monkeys on an infinite amount of typewriters, isn't it? Yeah, no, it's getting. Look, I think people got to appreciate, as we've said before, everyone's doing this, on a shoestring and in their own time and things like that. So. Yeah, all good,
and it really is. And look, we've added, it's improved for the drivers that they can stay overnight the night before if they need to.
Yeah,
they've got an extra ticket allocated to them if they need it as well.
Yeah,
so that's all kind of improved. We've added an additional race. We got the wonderful Dave Allan Trophy that we adore.
Yeah,
bringing some great stuff out and some great people. And I've got to put this message straight up. I know a lot of you will be delighted to see this. Our very own Queen of Combe is back. Looking forward to Saturday. We'll be there in the Dave Allan Trophy with her son-in-law in a BMW.
Yeah, I saw that. I've been so busy. Joe messaged me because I was looking for the entry list, and of course I didn't even think to look on the website, did I? It's one of those. It's been one of those days. And she said, I'm sure Chris has noticed it, but just a heads up on Ilsa coming back. So that's great. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely brilliant. And I think we should probably kick on really and run through it.
Before we do that, I'm going to share something that will give you, will tell you who else is actually coming out to play this time. And I know a lot of you now. Get your volume turned right up now. You've got to hear this in all its glory. This is coming back to play. He said, "Wait."
Well, that's just definitely.
Yes. Yes. We've got Putty back in as Tim Perry called it, the marshmallow toaster. And his comment to me that he was saying is that he's going to be busy, both GT's races and the Dave Allan Trophy.
Yeah.
He's got 15 fuel jugs full to the brim, ready to feed the beast. That is just so cool. So just to get you all in the mood for everything that we're going to be seeing, and that's just a soupçon. Am I allowed to say that this time of night, Tom?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
soupçon. Does that confuse you?
Soupçon. A little bit.
Obviously, we saw that Ray Ferrari Nut Ferguson. He's going to be back out for the first time this Saturday. Great to see Ray. And in fairness, as who was it that said? Even Mark Sutton said, Ray Ferrari Nut Ferguson testing. What's all that about? I agree. Hey, he's getting the big guns out. Good old Team Hamilton's going to be there as well. Good to see that you'll be there, Alan. The interesting thing with Ilsa, though, she said she's not even sat in that BMW that they're going to be racing.
Like that matters.
No, exactly. Natural talent and all that. It will be awesome. Again, it's getting you all in the mood. That video would really, really help. Chris Mason's even going to break away from the gin bottle to be back for Saturday too.
Yeah, right.
He is. He's actually coming back. He's breaking the family vacation. And I remember that from when we interviewed them, is that Emma will be staying down there and Chris is coming back.
It doesn't mean he's going to be drinking gin, does it?
Well, in theory, he's got to break away from the gin. Yeah, he's just got to bring a driver.
He doesn't know I know about his secret supply in the rescue truck.
Good point. Yeah, he'll just hire a driver for the day. That's fine. I like the fact that Clive Woodward says it reminds him of the Sweeney, that video. You're showing your age there, Clive, but I'm with you, mate. They repeat things on TV from 50 years ago, so it's fine. Oh, sorry, mate.
Or he was probably an extra in it, wasn't he?
Yeah, probably is. Yeah. It also saying Steve Putt is bonkers, isn't he? Just Chris Pearson, that raw, absolutely. Paul Wiltshire, can he get any more wings on that car? Nah, of course he can't. Matt Parr, good evening, guys. Hope everyone is well. Camera's looking good. But still, let me just double check. No, Matt Parr, we're still not seeing you. We got to see you back out there. I think it's more next year for you, mate, isn't it? But that's a shame. But, hopefully see you back out there soon. Anthony Chitty, evening, chaps. Can't wait to see that go around Saturday. Steve Putty's car, agreed. There's someone else that I'm loving the fact we're going to see out on track. Looking forward to seeing you on, being back for Dave's race. Kel is going to be out on track as well. She's not up in race control. She's out on circuit, which is lovely to see. And Wendy Hignall, good evening, gentlemen. Looking forward to Saturday. Chris is absolutely delighted that he's got that first place sticker proudly on the side of his car now, and he's going to be trying to gun for a bit more there as well, isn't he? So absolutely amazing. While I remember, by the way, hopefully you've seen on the Castle Combe Circuit Facebook page, Tom and I talked about the competition last week about if you've got your merch, as my young, hip and trendy comrade here calls it, is if you've got it, take photos of you in some weird, wonderful, whatever places.
Not too weird.
And it's got to be clean. It's got to be viewable by kids as well, okay?
Yeah, well, yeah. Or send those privately. Privately.
Exactly right, yeah. Not you, Putty. You're not allowed to send those to us, though. But if you got the merch, send us photos. The best one's going to win a Castle Combe goodie bag and Castle Combe t-shirt. Is that the 70-year anniversary one or one of the other ones?
Yeah, we'll see. We've got two, so let's see what happens.
Awesome. So get it in. If you haven't got your merch yet, it's open till, was it the 15th of August? I saw, and I know that Sam has put it in the comments for this, but you see t-shirtstudio.com/marketplace/Combe-TV. And the only reason why I'm talking about this now is that I've just today been able to add a number of other things. We have baby grows, we've got baby t-shirts, and we've got kids t-shirts. And I know that Chris Mason, for example, was asking for stuff for the youngster. We've now got the Dilly Dilly baby grows, we've got the Dilly Dilly baby t-shirts, and we've got the Dilly Dilly kids t-shirts, just that little bit older, as well as for us adults and everything else. So it is there.
A good gentleman.
Yes, exactly. There's no need for that, mate. But you're right. I've removed. It hasn't got the lockdown 2020 on it, so that because it's like let's keep it a bit more generic. It's still got let Combe TV be gin, because if they're that young, they won't get the joke anyway. So that's fine. But go and have a look. Get the photos in, and whatever one stands out as the best, the funniest, the most extreme, whatever it is, you'll win the competition at the end. I love the fact that keep it clean, says Chris Mason. Nathan Nichols says, go well, fellow Forge driver Steve Putt. You saw the Forge on his car as well, didn't you, mate? Matt Parr says he'll be out for 2021 for sure. Good. And we've even got Goose in the house, as he says, one of the Quarry Hardcore up there. Hopefully you'll be glued to that footage. And I hope you like the cameras as well, mate, is that just bringing it that step closer. We're getting closer and closer. We're still hoping for the end of August, Tom, but of course we've even had flies in the ointment, really, I'm not going to dwell on it for very long, but of course even MSV have had the rug pulled out of them for touring car coverage at Donington. I mean, I feel awfully for them because that's got to be a terrible situation.
Yeah, I don't know too much about it, obviously only from what I've seen the statement put out yesterday. I think I think 48 hours out is really, really not good for those guys. Really unfair.
That's not been fairly treated.
No. But I think it was always going to be tricky. What they're saying, they're saying, it's an elite sport. It's a hugely televised, very professional. Completely different, to what some of the things that they have been doing at their circuits. So I think it was always going to be tricky, people all around the world watch it, and I think it's I don't know what numbers they had on the crowds or anything like that, but it's a beast. The touring cars. It was
still going to be limited, though. It was still going to be limited, so it is. It's.
I think it's the connotation. I think it's the it's the connotations of that is when they're really pushing hard on all the other sports.
True.
I think that's the tricky bit. How could
Precedent,
it depends how you want to look at it. You're either playing it up and saying, well, isn't it an elite sport, and are they elite drivers, or are you downplaying it, saying, well, actually it's no different to a club clubman's sort of league. And I'm not saying there's any issues with either of them, but I think that's where that's what they've got to look at. So yeah, I just think it's just very sad that it happened at this late stage when a lot of people were excited about it, and MSV have put a lot. So yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I think we're going to wait and see what happens with that. And the BSB is obviously interesting to see what happens with that.
Absolutely, and British GT, all sorts of there's a couple of other things in there. I mean, Tim Pace is a bit sudden, but what else can they do about it? That's not that we're not saying about
we'll see. No.
Sorry for Donington Park.
Without doubt, and I think
pulled the rug there.
When the DCMS come knocking, you there's not a lot you can do. Export UK is one thing, but the DCMS, there's not a lot you can do about that. You've got to follow suit. You can't, you can't go arguing with those guys. But we'll see. I think we've still got a few weeks away, and I think if anyone's going to start pushing and championing anything, it's going to be those guys. But yeah, so.
It is. I mean, Chris says mass gathering still not allowed. Crowds will be really big. No, that wasn't the issue totally, Chris, because they were going to be limiting the tickets there as well. So it's, it's a shame. It is what it is. But the only reason why I'm bringing it up, because of course we're not able to compare apples with apples, other than the fact that ironically COMBE gets much bigger crowds for club racing than any other circuit. So there's a parity there to some extent, but not to the level of British touring cars. It's just seeing how difficult it is. We are, and this is why I'm justifying. We are hoping for the 31st of August. Fingers crossed that we may be able to do it, but we can't guarantee anything at the moment when you got things like that. We had there was a comment sadly when we put this show live that we were going to be doing the coverage. And somebody said, you're allowed to go into Tesco's and this and that and in the pubs and this is in a park. You're kind of missing the point. And it's like, well, no, we're not missing the point, ironically, because we don't have a choice. It is what it is. The things are in place. Our limitations, our hands are tied. What we have just done is that instead of just going, sorry, we can't do anything, is that as everybody has said, is that thank you and appreciate your appreciation, is that we're trying to bring some coverage. It is what it is. There's nothing we can do. We're trying to do as much as we can, and it's just improving bit on bit with the possibility of curveballs thrown in as we go, Tom. That was
no, without doubt. No, and I think I do think that there's a bit more to it. I genuinely don't know. I will do some poking around when I get 5 minutes, but I think it's a different league, and I mean that in the pleasantly nicest way. That it is a completely different league to, and I think there's just a lot of unanswered questions there around what it's categorized as, and I imagine the BSB will be the next one with it. But we'll see. Like I said, we'll see. Nobody knows at the moment. I would hope that we could do something. They have. The interesting thing is, like they said, they have successfully managed smaller club meets, I believe, quite well. Where you've seen them yourself. So we'll wait and see.
Absolutely. Just know that everybody at the circuit, everybody at the racing club, I promise you, and I for a lot of you, it goes without saying, it is that, they're trying so hard to do it. I'm trying. The only thing I can do is try to bring you things like this show and Kev and I to bring you the live coverage. And then, myself and my team of Clive Woodward and John Moon come Saturday, we'll try to make it, fun. It's inclusive. It's even more interactive than we normally get because of all of this.
Yeah.
So in its own way, we'll enjoy it, and hopefully, it's just getting closer and closer to doing it. It's baffling. The whole thing's baffling. There's nothing we can do about it. And even I agree. Only the elite, and as Chris Pearson also says, football stadium rules for a huge acreage racetrack. I know it's parkland, and it's just it is what it is. Tim Perry says we got to do what the powers that be say, and that is the whole thing. So thanks for all the comments that are coming in as well. Everybody saying awesome, well done to Kevin and the team, and I echo it. I get the glamour bit in reality, and but Kevin, honestly, he's still at the circuit now. He's still wiring bits and pieces out there to make it work. He's just an absolute hero to me with everything that he's making work, and he'll be flat out during the day as well. So right, that's all of that side of things. In terms of the race day, I mean, I'm so excited. Entry list. I mean, look at that. We're talking it's three whole pages. It is looking fantastic. It's getting closer and closer to what we're used to. Annoyingly, I meant to sort of go through and just add up, but I've been so busy myself today as well that I haven't had chance to. In terms of the timetable, we've got 5 qualifying sessions in the morning: GTs, the hot hatches, the saloons, Formula Fords, and then the Dave Allan Trophy qualifying session. And then we've got the lunch break from about 11:30 to 12:30. Our plan is that we will look to go live at 11:30. So at the start of the lunch break, so there won't be masses on, but it's just that we will get things going live. We can then shake it down, make sure that everything is working. It might be at the beginning that we just have the roving cameras just to make sure everything's working there. We may dip in and out with comments, questions, interaction, whatever else, and just have some fun. Without you having to be sort of pulled pillar to post this time, Tom, with a mobile phone, it'll be a bit more relaxed.
Yeah, well, I was doing my job, really, I suppose. I don't know,
yeah, relaxed. It's not.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's no, it was quite a lot. It was a lot running around and everything. But it's, like you said, it's evolved. We did that. Crikey, we did that in weeks, not even weeks. We put that together. We didn't know what to expect. So I think this is a huge step up. And talking to John Moon, he's really excited to be back, and he's really excited. His heart obviously is at COMBE, as we know. He's raced. He was at the sprint the other week, actually. Racing the sprint, and so I think you've got a really good team of guys, and it should be very good. Actually, it should be very good for everyone.
It will. Dave Rogers, he's always trying. Do me and Base Carter get a bottle of gin each for pushing the dilly saying no? But
thanks for Budweiser, isn't it? I think it's Budweiser. Didn't we thank Budweiser for that?
Yeah, exactly. You got it's that, mate. It's that you got to go and thank. I think they pushed it harder. No, I'm only joking, Dave. It is you made it become the war cry, and we're expanding what you're saying. So we're actually pushing your saying, mate. That's the key thing. Thank you, Tim Perry, saying everything you guys do is so much appreciated by me, and it makes me still feel part of the family. That's lovely to hear, Tom, because that was remit number one when we started.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, without a doubt.
That is cool. And thank you, Chris Pearson. Best live coverage of club level motorsport with that question. Thanks, mate. That's lovely. Clive says, I'll miss my director of photography, i.e. you, Tom.
Yeah, or is it a fluffer? I don't know. They called that. Can you see?
No, that's a whole other thing, mate. That's a whole other thing. Yeah. Okay. Chris Mason says you'll just be sleeping anyway. That's
if he gets the blooming, I'm not allowed in the medical centre at the moment. I mean, if they got a bed sorted again, that'd be all right, wouldn't it?
Winner chicken dinner. Yeah, absolutely. So that will be lunchtime. We'll get things going, and then the racing gets underway. GTs, hot hatches, saloons, Formula Fords. GTs, hot hatches, saloons for Formula Fords. And then we round out the day's action with the Dave Allan Trophy, 45-minute race with a pit stop, which is why you'll have seen on those cameras that we actually have a camera showing down into the pit lane.
That's awesome.
Because we're going to have the pit stops. If they're on their own, they've still got to go and do that pit stop and stop for the mandatory period. If they are changing drivers, I mean, this is the challenge, Tom. They've actually got to get out, wipe the car down before the next driver can get in.
Yeah. No, it's going to be interesting to see. It's not something we do a lot of at COMBE anyway. There's only a few races. Like Dave Allan.
Wiping things down.
No. I mean, in the racing, it's only the GT and Sports Car Cup, I think, normally have double drives, don't they? And maybe a couple of the HRDC drives, but a lot of other championships or even visiting championships don't tend to have that, do they? Too much. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, but it's always a good one anyway. But like you say, now I have that added bit of time in. But I think when I was chatting to Alan about it from Honda, and they were fairly confident. They've done this sort of thing before. They're fairly confident with it.
But they've entered quite a fleet of cars themselves, haven't they? Really. We'll come on to that in a second.
Definitely.
I mean, really impressed. So to remind people that don't necessarily remember exactly what it is, the Dave Allan Trophy. It's an annual trophy in memory of the former Honda test and race driver, and it's supported massively by Honda of the UK manufacturing and Synchro Motorsport. And it's designed to enable a massive variety, and it really is a big variety of cars to race at the same time, with everyone having an equal chance of winning their class. Doesn't matter what they're in. It's affordable opportunity to sample it says to sample endurance racing, but the reality is it's mini endurance racing, which we know is massively popular out there. 45 minutes, and it's a good opportunity. It's becoming more and more popular. So it's sort of that whole bang for your buck thing. And eligible cars are any sports, saloon, GT, or touring cars of any engine capacity. The only things that aren't eligible is sports racing cars, sports prototypes, open wheeled, or single seater racing cars. But of course, we're looking to do a sports one later this year, aren't we? So
yeah,
that will be cool. And it's either 1 or 2 drivers. That's the reality of it. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, it is. And you said about the Honda thing, it's a shame because, Honda have supported it, with the trucks, and they bring a whole games and all sorts of things. And that's a real shame, that they haven't been able to do that. But like I said the other time, the Dave Allan Trophy is almost as big as me. It's huge. So that really is something to go. And they will still be doing that. I'm sure they'll rope you into doing that, Chris, as well, in a socially distanced, responsible way. But it's great. They put a lot of effort into it, and it's a shame that they can't have all their guests and everything that come down from Honda and everything else, because obviously those guys have been going for a tough time, not just with coronavirus. So.
Yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. Goose says, I'll miss the westerly wind blowing across the track Saturday. I know what you mean. It's not the sun that gets you, it's the wind that burns you up there, I tell you. David Vivian for the win in the Fuffers, as my good friend from the Camp Softcore tells me. It's the Fuffers. He's going for David Vivian. Good point here by Tim as well, actually. Alas, I'll miss the live stream, but we'll catch up with the recording as I'm going to Leeds to pick up my new car. Not the new car or Leeds bit, but the fact that if you can't catch the live stream, or if you catch some of it and then you disappear out and you come back in again, is that it will be available. It'll end up at the end of the feed. It will be there available to watch back. And of course, even on the live bit, you can scrub backwards and forwards to where you want to go, because it will be, at the end will be live, and the rest of it is all there. So it's good that you can catch up all of that. Paul Wiltshire says, is that wiping the cars or the drivers down on changeover? Both, probably. I don't know. I have no idea, Paul. Bit of both there, I think. Right, so that is giving us a bit of an idea, and I tell you what, let's start with the Dave Allan Trophy. Since we've talked about
backwards, are you?
We are only for that one, because we'll then go through our local ones in more detail.
Yeah.
And I need to bring up a couple of bits and pieces, because thank you for the messages that have been coming in from people, just to let me know. Oh, and by the way, hello, Mum. Apparently, Mum's listening in. She doesn't like motor racing, but she likes the fact that it's the only way she can see me at the moment with all this lockdown nonsense. Right, so in the Dave Allan Trophy, doesn't break them down in classes on this, so I don't know how exactly that's being done. Hopefully we'll get a better idea of that at some point. But first of all, we've got Stuart Emmett in the Rutland and Ludlow Engineering, interestingly. So that's Dan Ludlow has had involvement in Stuart Emmett's MGZR. That sounds interesting. One of the 1.9 variants of the ZR as well. Needs no introduction. Car number 7, Steve Putt, out in the RX-7. And if anybody's seen the video, when we interviewed him, he was talking about he was going to have the flappy paddles on. He's got them on, and he's loving them, and he's really looking like it's going to go, incredibly well for that as well. And what I loved, I don't know if you saw the video, Tom, is that it was sort of like behind him, and he's there doing the flappy paddles, and the gear stick's moving all on its own. It's like a ghost car now. If you didn't think it was scary before that monster RX-7, it sure as hell is now, because it moves on its own. It is good. Car number 12, we touched on it already. David Russell and Ilsa Cox. She was saying when we interviewed them, wasn't she, that she was looking forward to doing something with the son-in-law, but they hadn't worked out what yet, and this had kiboshed it. But they're out in a BMW 325 that she hasn't even settled in yet.
No, she'll be fine. She'll be fine.
I'm just keeping an eye on there we go. Castle Combe Racing Club have said thank you for that. I would imagine, Joe, classes will be decided on reference laps. I had a vague recollection it was something like that, but they also are quite strict in making sure that they don't sandbag during that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember that now. You're saying that, because it's sort of changed slightly, hasn't it? It's evolved. I remember the first year I was working at the circuit, but I wasn't overly involved, and I just remember there was a whole kerfuffle, which I won't go into. But
that word doesn't get used enough, I find.
Kerfuffle. It's a great word, isn't it? Kerfuffle.
Yeah, we're going to bring that back.
We should do, and I think it's evolved, and and I think people, because I think that was the year we were lucky. I say lucky enough. It was great to have Matt Neal there, wasn't it? But I think there was a little bit of and they tried different things and it kept changing. But I think, last 2 or 3 years, seems to have settled it down now.
Yeah,
So,
I'd agree. So they'll do the qualifying, they'll have an understanding of who's where, and then they'll work out the classes based on that, and we'll know come race time. Or more to the point with these kind of races is that commentators aren't supposed to know, in all honesty. It's just flying blind. That's the beauty of it. Just another point it is good to put up. Chris Mason says Med Centre will be manned from 1900 hours Friday night. Going military on you there. Should you need us, please call, blah, 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 or call into the medical centre. So they will be there from 7 p.m. Friday night. We're talking about the Dave Allan. Steve Davies says, so looking forward to taking part in my first Dave Allan Trophy racing with Synchro Motorsport. Absolutely, Steve Davey. Let me just quickly look. There we go. He's in the 77, the Honda Civic Synchro Motorsport, teaming up with Caroline Ryder. So looking forward to seeing that one. I think I remember you, Steve, actually, when we had Alan on, you were sort of getting involved, abusing him, probably, I would imagine. So looking forward to seeing you out there, Steve. That would be great. My dad's jumped in as well and said, gents, to the team at Castle Combe Racing Club, may I speak on behalf of the entire racing fan fraternity. You guys have done us all proud. Congratulations on your achievement. Thanks, Dad.
Another tenner in the post.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, Clive confirming it's based on lap times. There we go. Here's the truth now comes out. Look at this. Even Queen Ilsa's not necessarily totally honest. Look, who'd have thought it? I was accused of sandbagging the first time I drove Henry at Combe. Not sure what to say to that, Tom, really.
No.
I think you get put in Tower of London if you say anything too much against. We couldn't say it. So I love this one as well. We've got Pete Spiller says some cars will have one fast and one slow driver, and in fairness, that's Papa Spiller and Dave Spiller, son Spiller. He's going to be out there. They're teaming up in the Mini, and he's trying to claim he's the slow driver. And his son. He does say that his son's the quicker one.
Who knows? You have to see, won't we? That's the whole beauty of it, isn't it? No sandbagging.
Mike Cotton says, here. I'm not sure whether that's the being put in Tower of London for saying bad things about Ilsa, or whether that was my dad's comment about how good everybody's done. I'm not sure. It also confirms that she wasn't sandbagging and she won't be on Saturday, Your Honour.
Well, now we know. That all eyes on Ilsa, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Camera now.
Dan Ludlow as well himself. Really looking forward to the Dave Allan. No sandbagging from me. It's great. I've seen Dan Ludlow. I've commented on Dan Ludlow so many times in a variety of things, whether it's the Honda, whether it's the MG, a big, what is it, the ZS, the big ZS car. I've commented on him running a few times as well. And great guy and a great race.
Isn't that an ex-Synchro car, isn't it, if I remember rightly? Dan, I'm sure you'll jump in and tell us if I'm wrong, but I thought it was an ex-Synchro car.
I thought it was, yeah.
I think he's fettled with it since.
Yeah. I thought you said spat on it then, but you said fettled.
Fettled. It's another word we could bring back. Kerfuffled and fettled.
Kerfuffled and fettled, yeah. And it's all started now. Kel's accusing Dan Ludlow that he wouldn't be sandbagging. It's all started now, hasn't it? Hey, goodness me.
Keep it clean, guys.
Yeah. Car number 17. This is good. Sussex Road and Race, the Mini Cooper S team that actually raced in the Mini Championships. They've got Josh Fulbrook and Andrew Bailey racing in that one. I love. And they've actually got the other car out as well, number 26 with Keith Isaac and Kevin Fulbrook at the wheel of number 26. So we got two of those guys out. I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, they were out doing a bit of a shakedown the other day, actually. They had big setup, really big setup, those guys.
Oh, they are. They're amazing. Yeah,
so those guys. So that'd be good to see. Good cars, really nice prepared.
And you were right. Ex-Synchro car.
Stupid like a fox, I tell you.
Absolutely. Car number 19, Mark and Nathan Sutton, father and son, out again in the Vauxhall Astra.
That's great.
Yeah. Mazda MX-5 Mark 1, Adrian Johnson at the wheel of car number 22. I just need to check if that's... Adrian Johnson, that's one of the... Because we got Dan Blake out as well, who's a local driver from... Forgive me, Dan, I'm sure you're Bath way, because I know you were playing some of the rugby in Bath as well. And they're both racing in the 5 Club Mazda MX-5 Championship this year. And I think there's like all a Delayev getting going. So both of those guys are out in MX-5s. Ray Ferguson is out in the MGZR as well. Kelly Williams is teaming up with her brother, Dan Williams. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kel. I'm pretty certain that's your brother. In a Mazda MX-5. Okay, so the Carpet Warehouse Swindon Limited sponsored.
Plug that a bit more, because you could both maybe need some cut. Right on your doorstep there.
Exactly.
You could do with getting rid of that stuff off the wall you've got. That carpet you've got on the wall.
It's the ceiling stuff that worries me the most, mate.
That's mirrors.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah. And eyelets as well, little eyelets.
Stop.
Del Brett, good to see the future Inns boss. Del Brett's going to be out in his Porsche Boxster as well. Dan Ludlow, we've heard from in the ex-Synchro Motorsport Honda Civic Type R. Daniel Wheeler in a Honda Jazz. Alan James out in the Honda Civic Type R FK8. Now, although they both say driver, I'm pretty sure they're both Honda or Synchro. It doesn't say that they are, but I'm sure they are.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I'm not sure that's it must be the original Honda Jazz they had. He was talking about. They were doing some work with it, weren't they?
Yeah.
So I'm not sure of that. So if any of those guys are watching, then please feel free to jump in. But I do think they're all Synchro cars or Synchro connection, and a lot of connection to Dave as well, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the key point there, which is lovely. 77, we've already heard Steve Davey and Caroline Ryder in the Synchro Motorsport Honda Civic. Jeremy Cook and Charles Hyde Andrews Bird, they're both out. And in the BMW M3 E92. So that'll be good to see those guys out. There we go. Kelly Williams, James has said, yes, guys, if you need some flooring, come to us. Dan is my brother. I'm in Swindon, Kel, and absolutely. Do us a deal. Do us a deal, son. Do us a deal. Car 127 is the Amigo Motorsport Mazda MX-5 that we were chatting to Dan earlier, who actually raced at Thruxton last week and out-qualified some stronger cars as well. So he'll be looking for a good show, getting ready for doing the Max 5 races later this year at Castle Combe. And, of course, being local, he said that he's in Semmington. Is that Semmington Junction? That's a different thing, isn't it? I don't know. Is that he'll be out as well. Thomas Taylor 177, the cybertom.com Hyundai coupes, and he said about the fact that Tommy Taylor also an Amiga Motorsport car, because they're not actually racing. The Hyundai Coupe Cup doesn't start until the end of August. Goes to show the big impact, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Thank you to Steve Davey. I thought as much. He's confirmed, yes, they are all Synchro cars, all those ones. So Daniel Wheeler, Alan James, they're all Synchro as well.
Yeah.
As I suspected. We've then got Gary Franks and Steve Waite out in a Mini Cooper 265. 285 is the father and son, Dave Spiller, Pete Spiller, which interestingly, Papa Pars jumped up and said, Pete Spiller, I think you mean one young, excitable driver and one mature driver. Yes. I agree. Although I'm not sure that Pete's ever been referred to as mature. Hey, Pete, you know it, Pete. You know it. 454 Ryan Edgecombe in the Citroen C1 and another Citroen C1, another Edge Motorsport. David Knight in 525. Hence, we say there's a big old mix of cars there, isn't it? But they all have a chance of winning their own classes. That's the beauty of it.
Definitely.
So that's the Dave Allan Trophy. Really looking forward to that. A great way to round out the day. 45-minute race with a pit stop. Driver changes for those ones that have got two. Even if they've got one, they've still got to come into the pits. And we will have the camera covering the pit lane as well, which would be fabulous. Pete Spiller's just said, I'm mature. No. You're as mature as me and Tom. Yeah, that's dragging them down a bit too far, isn't it? Saloon Car Championship, Tom. That's looking good again, isn't it? It was surprisingly low for the first race meet, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was. I think no, definitely, it's looking good, which is it's all positive. It's in the right direction. Yeah, and again, like I said, a lot of people have still got a lot of other commitments and lots going on. And I think so. It's going to take its time on all these things, and not cheap cars to run. Not that any car is, but not a lot of expensive toys in there as well.
Yeah, 17 cars we've got in the saloon. So Class A, which has again got the most amount of them. Alan James, what you drinking tonight? Alan, you were drinking on the show as well, mate. You can't drag us down. You can't drag us down. You were drinking too. In fact, his was Cronenberg 1664 from memory. I'm sure it was. So he was drinking beta juice, I'm sure it was. But right, Class A, move on, Dawes, move on. Class A, Rob Ballard. I really hope they've sorted that Sirocco out because it was amazing. In qualifying, he banged it on the front row for both races and then couldn't take part in it.
Yeah, I know.
It was heartbreaking. It was so good to see the big bad Ballard back up where he belongs, and that Sirocco is an absolute weapon as well.
And don't tell me you're after Chippenham Conservatory and Windows, Chris. Is that what you're trying to get? Is that what you're going to segue in there? So.
Absolutely. No, he's I shouldn't call him a friend because he's the one that's been pushing me to get back in the gym, which I am. And the current Mrs. Dawes is here with.
Oh, good timing. Trying to get back in the gym, and here's a gin. Hey,
thanks, love.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Hey. Yeah, me, love. Sorry, love.
You're in trouble.
I forgot she could hear.
Not as drunk as you.
No. Right, so Rob Ballard is going to be out there in his Sirocco. Chris Rawlins is back in his Volkswagen Golf GTI. Now, he was getting quicker and quicker at the tail end of the season. That would be brilliant. Hello, Sharon Ballard. Good to see the comments. You know that we're looking forward to Big Bad Ballard being at the front of the grid. Christopher Rawlins in that Golf was so quick at the tail end of last season. And equally back in another Golf, car number 50, Robert Ellick. That, depending on which one he's bringing, because he had two last year, and it's the black one that's just incredibly quick. And then he had a white, I think it is, that had less power than his other one, but he bought that one.
Not sure. Yeah, I don't.
Something like that. So great to see that Robert Ellick's going to be out. Adam Preble, of course. Hopefully, he's got the issue sorted because we know how ridiculously quick that Vauxhall Astra is.
Yeah.
The WeWillFixIt.com sponsored car. He's going to be back out. Kevin Bird. Now that Nissan 200 SX, and I meant to print out the championship. I'm sure he's like leading the championship at the moment with a great showing in that first round. Hang on. We've just had an update here. Ross Parker says Chris's gearbox broke today. I'm assuming that's Chris Rawlins. Just confirm that, Ross. I'm assuming that's who you mean.
Yeah.
That would be a real shame if that's the case. What are we on now? Thursday. That's going to be tight, isn't it? So we may have lost Chris Rawlins, which would be a shame. But Kevin Bird in his Nissan 200 SX, if you didn't see the coverage last time, it's got a lovely new livery. Instead of just being all white at the back, like it used to be, is that he's got... Sorry, mate, sorry.
Got the Nissan, was it the Nismo?
Yeah, it is. It's got the blue and the red. It looks really, really good.
Yeah, it's a quick car as well, isn't it? He knows how to pedal, so that's good.
Massively. And he thought that he was having a few moments, but he was spinning on other people's oil. Although the second race, I think he was trying to get a 7 from Len Goodman for the pirouettes in the rain. But that's because he went out on slicks. He tried to.
I was going to say I remember he was chatting to him, and he said it was the wrong tyres, wasn't it? Slightly because the weather was just trying to play that weather was ridiculous, wasn't it? They were really struggling. Really struggling.
You couldn't win, could you? So it didn't work. I mean, it did work because he's doing amazing as it stands at the minute. So Kevin Bird's back out, Gary Preble back out. Hopefully, we will see him because we saw him start that first race.
Yeah, in the car problem,
and that was it.
Yeah. I don't know if he was testing it today or not. I'm not seeing Gary, but yeah, that'd be good. Hopefully, he's got that sorted now.
Fingers crossed. Tom Cook, 96 Otto Motors Mini Cooper S. I would imagine that he's going to be terrifically underpowered in that Mini compared to the other Class A cars, but he's still going to be mixing it in, and it'll be good to see Tom go away. Well, Peter Elliston, 123 in a Golf GTI. Now I'm sure isn't Peter Elliston the one that historically has been out in a Vauxhall Astra, and he's got a Golf to play with this year, so that'll be interesting.
Yeah, not sure.
This is where you get disgusted at me, Tom, when you start questioning my anorak thickness. Don't
you?
No,
crikey, I can't even remember what I was doing half an hour ago, let alone what was happening last year. That's what we employ you guys. I mean, that's the whole point, isn't it? That's what we employ you for. You
employ geeks. I know. So that's Class A. Class B, Simon Thornton Norris is back there. He didn't have a clean weekend on the first race weekend, but he's going to hope that he's going to keep everything sorted. What was it? A DNF in the first one and then domination in the second one. So he's going to hope to carry that into the doubleheader here. Yeah. Terry Thorne in his Ford Fiesta. He'll be hoping to go great guns. Mark Wyatt's back out in his very famous yellow Vauxhall Astra.
Yeah, insurance one, yeah.
Yeah, Mark Richard Insurance. They were out, not in that. I'm pretty sure they were out in the BMW that they've got. The Interceptor Racing run at Thruxton at the Classic Sports Car Club meet last weekend. They put it on pole position. They came second overall, first in class, and got fastest lap. Admittedly, that's a BMW, but you still got then Mark Wyatt blowing out the cobwebs, and we know he's going to be quick in that weapon of an
they're
Astra.
good, well-prepared cars, aren't they? They're well-known guys who've been around a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. Stalwarts. Lewis Bird says Julian Ellison is in the Astra. Ah, okay. Julian Ellison. Sorry. So I was getting the wrong name. Peter Elliston. Any relationship? No, that's Elliston. Peter Elliston, not Julian Ellison.
Come on, Chris. Lay off the gin. Come on.
I missed the tea. That's what it was. Always miss my tea. Liquid tea.
Right. I thought you meant your supper.
No. Class C, Stuart Hignall. He had a good race with his brother in the Team Blast Motorsport Citroen Saxo. That was wicked to watch. John Lannon in the Citroen Saxo VTS, the lovely livery on the two Rock Valley Automotive racing cars this year. John Lannon is the black with the sort of metallic blue. And both cars were out at Thruxton last weekend. Nathan Nichols, who I'm going to assume is in the hot hatches. Actually, you might not be looking at that. Maybe missing this one. Yeah.
Can't see him.
No, so we're possibly missing him. So just the one car at this time. But Nathan Nichols got, from memory, it was a great victory or second or something at Thruxton last week from the back of the grid. So went great guns after a very challenging opening race meet for him at Castle Combe. So who knows? Maybe he'll be okay. We've also got Mark Sutton out in his MGZR. Ray Ferrari up Ferguson, of course. He's going to be doing as many races as he possibly can in the 27 car. Class D, Chris Hignall and Anthony Weeks. Now, Anthony's hoping that he's got his issue sorted from the second race, where I don't think he managed to complete a lap. But that Citroen Saxo is going good. And, of course, Chris Hignall in his Peugeot 106, he's still looking to carry on great guns. Anthony Cooper says, I sense we were in for a hot hatch classic. Classes aside, I know who I'm chasing. Mr. Stride, Sean Govard is going to be a force to be reckoned with, as will a few other Class A and F cars. Can't wait. Hopefully, all the help from the lovely John from Rock Valley. So that's the good news. Emma Strawford telling me to calm down. No, frankly, no. I'm getting excited. We're going racing, Em. We're going racing. I'm looking forward to it. So that's the Saloon Car Championship. That's looking a lot more healthy, isn't it, to be fair?
Yeah, that's good. Some great, like I say, good to see some people who are back in that. So I think the only way is up, isn't it, as they say?
Yeah, I mean, it's they're not cheap cars to run. They're so sort of well prepared, those cars, that it was probably understandable. It took a big old hit for the first race meet, but back up to 17 there, and fingers crossed. Virtually the same number as well in the GTs for the double header. Class A, Steve Putt, we've already talked about the Elite Marine Services backed Mazda RX-7. Dominic Shepherd in that amazing Audi Super Tourer GT.
And there was a problem with that, didn't what happened? Come on.
The bonnet flew up going up Avon Rise.
Right. Yes, yeah. But then that car had only come into the country that week.
Really?
I remember talking to him because when I did some Facebook Live videos and it just went mad. That and Lucky's insane Ferrari. I mean, that was just unbelievable. But yeah, that thing was and they'd only just got it. I think he does design work and things like and print and design or something like that. I remember chatting to. I think it was his dad I was chatting to, and they'd literally just come into the country and they had done a little bit of fettling with it, and they were getting, and that was it. It was his first race, I believe. So yeah, unbelievable, and just an amazing car. And they weren't too sure what the plans were with it. So yeah, great. It's great to see him back out. Local guys as well, not that far away.
It was great to see that car. I mean, it was phenomenal, as you say. Yeah. It is the brand new version of it. And the following weekend, I was commentating on Lucky and Lee Frost up at Snetterton in the GT Cup. But sadly, that Ferrari had a problem, so they had to change it from that Ferrari to their Porsche Carrera Cup GB car that they've got, as you do. And so he was out in that instead. But they obviously got it sorted because we then had the Ferrari Challenge series that I'm covering one or two of those later this year. And it was at Brands Hatch this weekend, just gone, and he absolutely dominated. The whole event, and that was against equivalent cars as well, to be fair. And he dominated, and he just seems to be getting it stronger and stronger as a racing driver. It's
a real shame he's not here this weekend, because I think that's such a great car. And they're really great guys, great personalities. When we're chatting and having a laugh and joke, and
they're race fans, aren't they?
No, they are, and they just get on with it. And I think that it just something. That's when you miss. Not being able to spectate, we're lucky, but that you anyway, we should move on.
Well, especially when you considered, the reason why they didn't take part in race number 2. They were too busy enjoying themselves in the paddock. They were just relaxed. They were enjoying the sitting down. They'd had the one race. They were enjoying everybody's company, and enjoying being back in a racing paddock. And that became the reality of it. Of course. Whilst it's frustrating because I'd rather see him on track, I kind of went, but that does kind of sum those guys up.
Yeah, no, it does definitely. No, definitely.
Dominic Shepherd, he'll be back out in that Audi Super Tourer GT. Good to see Bradley Johns due back out this time. The Riverside Industrial Norris Design Evo 9, the Mitsubishi. We didn't see him last time, did we?
No, that's a beast of a car as well. And he knows how to pedal that. He's done really well, hasn't he, over the years? Yeah. And that is, that's obviously a Norris design car as well. So, Norris is obviously, famous for his Evo tuning. And that is, again, that thing is unstoppable when it works and it goes well. It's an unbelievable car, isn't it?
As you say, it's just the unfortunate thing is it can be a little bit exactly. I mean, just looking again, is that the next car on the list is 41 Oliver Ball, that Flirtations Florist. I always think of you when I say that name. I don't know why.
Steady. That thing flew. I mean, did you see the onboard footage they put up afterwards? I mean, fair play to. I mean, he's a really nice guy, Oliver, and he's a very slight chap as well. I mean, crikey, we're a larger gentleman compared to him, but he was absolutely shifting that thing and unbelievable in that weather. The onboard was something else, and they have tuned and worked on that car to an inch of its life. Fair play. So it'd be great to see, especially I think it'd be great to see if it's dry, hopefully, fingers crossed, on Saturday.
Absolutely.
Really interesting to see. I reckon there could be some serious I think he's a contender there with that car, because he really knows what he was doing.
Outright, not just past. Agreed. I mean, we're talking that we're pushing 155 mile an hour up over Avon Rise now, is that we're looking at with that car. They did achieve a 105.5 when they were out previously, and we could see lap record stuff this year. It could be just incredible. We'll wait and see. We'll see what happens. That Tigra silhouette, you'll know it. The orange and white car, and you'll notice it even on the footage. Barry Squibb, how good to see the other Mitsubishi Evo 9 out as well. The good old stalwart of the championship. Dips in and out these days, but when he's in, my goodness, that thing's quick. The white Mitsubishi Evo 9, we know it well. So he'll be out. That completes Class A. Class B, good to see Tim Woodman back in his Caterham 7. Tony Bennett's back again as well in the R300. So two very, very rapid Caterhams there. Paul Arbour in the AB Typhon that we were, I know Sam and I were having a lot of conversations about that and its heritage and things. Ruben Taylor in that another one of the silhouette cars, the Peugeot 206, and that's a very quick Class B car. So the LCW Engineering MSRE race run Peugeot 206 silhouette, that will be impressive. And we've seen Alan Hamilton, at least was watching this earlier. He's going to be out in the Ritchie Machine Services run Westfield Race Aero. That again is another one of these projects, Tim, isn't it? Where they're sort of constantly improving and trying to do new things with it, which is, a great thing of this GT Championship. Yeah,
definitely. Did he get a class win last time? Am I dreaming that?
Probably did. Yeah.
He did. I think he did. Yeah, they're seriously quick. There's little, like I said, Caterham / Westfields aren't. I mean, it's just simple. They look very similar, don't they? But I mean, again, the weight ratio is just, again, it's insane, isn't it? And that's the great thing with the GTs, isn't it? It's just such an eclectic mix. Another word we could use of stuff, and that's why people love it. And that's the beauty of it. It's just. It's just bonkers, isn't it? And I think that would prove that really last time, with Lucky there. and the Audi, and then like say Westfields and the AB Typhoon that no one knew really what it was. I mean, it's just that's the beauty. That is the beauty of the GTs.
Yeah, exactly right. Absolutely, I agree. And then Class C, in theory, we're supposed to be going down through the pecking order, but we suddenly have an Audi R8 LMS Ultra coming out with Keith Butcher. They couldn't get the issue sorted from the contact coming out of Bobby's, sadly, but they've got that one sorted. I think I heard that they'd been testing over possibly Pembrey Way or something, and they got that sorted. Jeremy Cook, 86, the BMW that I know he's then going to be racing with Charles Hind Andrews Bird in the Dave Allan, but Jeremy Cook's running that on his own, the BMW M3 E92 in Class C of the GTs. And Sacha Kakad, it's a new name on me, as you could probably tell. Control Limited sponsored Audi RS3. Wow.
Yeah, I'm not seen that. Yeah, that'd be interesting. I don't. The name doesn't ring any bells to me.
No, Sacha Kakad, Kakad. Yeah. So look forward to seeing that one. A 2 litre.
And apologies that Chris has probably absolutely butchered your name as well, Sacha, just in case.
Sorry.
So maybe if you do see him Saturday, please tell him how to pronounce it properly, because there's nothing more embarrassing, is there?
No, I do apologise if I have. Sorry. Not the first, not the last. Class D, 59 Del Brett in the Futurins backed Porsche Boxster. 73 Michael Parsons in the lovely VW Golf Edition 35 Cup. And, of course, the obscene vehicle, number 81, Neil Greenland in the Pro Alloys Melksham. Obviously, he's the boss of Pro Alloys. That Mitsubishi Colt, the bright green with so much more paraphernalia all around it now, where they've sort of set it up sort of more and more for
time attack
these days, isn't it? But so thank you so much to Neil for actually still bringing it out to play in the GTs as well.
Yeah, without doubt. No, that's brilliant. Great to see Neil back.
So that is the GTs. I'm just quickly doing some maths a minute. Always makes good TV, that, doesn't it? A consummate pro. 23 Formula Fords. That is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. And good to see a couple of people coming back that like I said, that hadn't for the last couple of years had come to the first race, and I think we weren't too sure if they were going to come back. I remember chatting to a couple of lads, and they weren't too sure what the plans were. So hopefully they were bitten by and we'll go for that in a second. They were bitten by the COMBE bug, and because that's really interesting, really, really great to have them back, and that sort of amount as well.
No, agreed. I mean, it just looks impressive. I mean, in Class A alone, we've got 9 cars in Class A, for goodness sake. So we've got Felix Fischer's back, as is Luke Cooper. Those two, their race was just epic. Both of them, both races were just incredible. I know Felix won by a margin race too, but that doesn't tell the whole story. So Felix is back in number 26. Tom Hawkins is back out in the Springridge Direct Limited run Ray GR11. Grant Palmer. So this is great to see that Low Dempsey Racing are back again. Yeah,
and he was, he was in the American lads, wasn't he? If I remember rightly. I think so. There was a couple of them. Again, apologies.
Bryce is back as well. Bryce.
I was going to say, and they were really nice lads, and keen to get their careers moving and things, and very different. They said very different to racing in America, and they weren't sure themselves at the time what if they were going to be coming back to COMBE. So something has obviously swayed them, so it'd be really good to see them.
But not just the drivers. That's a key point. And Emma Strawford, because I know that she's good friends with the Dempsey family, and they are a fantastic family. That when I sort of bumped into them, looking forward to the Formula Ford's media centre will be cheering the Low Dempsey boys.
She should be impartial, really, shouldn't she? Like me.
No, forget it. It's fine.
I love everyone. Like equal. You all have my equal love. That's what I say.
And it does sound on that front that she's got a media centre back. So I presume
she has. You'll be able to pop in. Yeah.
Medical centre not needing to use that facility this time. Grant Palmer's there. Matt Hallam's out in the Kevin Mills Racing Spectrum 011. Alex Walker, number 41 in a Van Diemen RF00. I'm pretty certain that's a new name on me, so that's a good addition to the field there. Kieran Atwood back out in the Solly Motorsport run GR07. David Vivian, of course, he's out, and that's a Kevin Mills Racing. I know we did have our good friend from Wiltshire Motorsport did sort of jump in earlier. David Campion said, "Hi guys, sorry I'm late. Hope you're well." You're always late, Mr. Campion, aren't you? But just quickly saying, Ray Ferrari, not Ferguson, just testing my new bigger engine, as I've heard a rumor you have one. Somebody else has got one, so that's why Ray was testing. But yes, obviously Wiltshire College haven't been able to have the students there and preparing all these cars.
No.
So David Vivian is still out racing, and it's a Kevin Mills Racing Dent Mania run backed Spectrum 011. Luke Cooper, of course, out in number 46, determined to get that number 1 back again. And then Bryce Aaron in 1, 2, 3. You know, a lot of those guys are actually racing against each other in the national series as well. That's the great subplot to this as well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think definitely that's what they were saying, is they were, you know, that was where the big concentration was going. So it'd be interesting to, I think, maybe, I'm sure John will ask if they get up there, I can get him to ask the question of, you know, what's brought them back, because I think that'd be the interesting thing. I think that, you know, some of them weren't too sure, so it'd be great to see if they've decided that they want to stay with us for the rest of the season, and also do the nationals. So it'd be really, but let's see. That's what they say.
Yeah, we'll wait and see on that one. On to Class B, and again, we've then got 3, 6, 8 in Class B as well. We got Paul Barnes back out in the Solely Motorsport run, Solar Heat sponsored Swift SC92. 17, Hayden Hardiman in another TM Racing. So that's the same team that run Felix Fisher. So they've got Hayden Hardiman out there as well. So great to see another TM Racing car out there. So Van Diemen RF90. Great to see Nathan Ward back again. It was a big struggle for him. He had some issues in race number 1. In fact, in qualifying, then they just stripped all wiring and everything back to try and find where it was flaking out. They think they found it and they were able to go, but they were worried that he was going to stall. Race number 1, of course, he did stall and he didn't get to take part in the race. He was on the infield. Race number 2, they were worried about happen again. They managed to avoid him, thankfully, race 1. And he got a cracking start. It was just literally, as he said, rustiness in the fact that with the rain coming down, it was tricky conditions, wasn't it, for the best of the drivers. And certainly coming on through camp onto the start-finish straight, just running wide. And it was quite cool and funny watching him. The amount of times that he just went that little bit wide, scrubbed off the speed, and he's there and he's shaking his head at himself because, of course, in the past, he's been one heck of a thing. Oh, there we go. Emma Strawford's just let me know that Hayden Hardiman is in Robin Parsons' old car. Some of you will know Robin Parsons, both as racing of old and a voice occasionally in the commentary box. I think mainly for the bikes these days, or was at least. And it's his old car. How cool is that? I'm liking that sound. Sean Macklin, he's out in number 27. Chris Warden in a Wayne Paul Racing car, number 33. 60, Paul Morecambe in a Solely Motorsport run car. There's a few new names here, which is brilliant to see.
Yeah, Paul was there last time. Yeah, he was there last time.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
78, James Rose in the Goodridge Limited sponsored car. I certainly remember that Goodridge Limited all down the side. Bob Hawkins, 91, Springbridge Bridge Direct Limited run Swift SC92. On to Class C, we've then got 4 cars there. Michael Phillips in number 7, Mark De Rosario in the Solely Motorsport and Sharman-sponsored car, James Colburn, number 83, in another Wayne Paul Racing, AIM Technologies, Van Diemen RF88. And, of course, the familiar face is like a stalwart of our championship. Steve Bracegirdle is in the number 84 Wayne Paul Racing.
We had a really good chat with Steve, didn't we, at the last race? You know, and he was just a big fan of everything and great guy. And he was talking to us about the racing and I suppose being a bit more mature on the grid and just loving Coombe and everything. He was a really nice guy, really great. So it's good to see him back. And
Steve's a great guy. Great to see Class D as well. We've got representation in here. 2 cars. Alan Slater is back in that beautiful Nike Mark IV. The yellow thing. I mean, that is like a Matchbox race car. That thing, it is just stunning. And a new one that I'm interested to hear. 960 is Bob Higgins in the Riadro Racing run Macon 07. And as Emma's actually said, she's looking forward to seeing Bob's new old toy out there. I don't know what the history is there, whether, because you wouldn't put it past that it's something that he's raced in the past. I don't know, but it's this.
Yeah, it's ringing a bell. It's something. Do we not touch up on this, or am I getting mixed up that he had it tucked away in the garage or something? All right, I can't quite remember. Chris, I'm really sorry. I'm going to have to hand over the gauntlet to you this evening. I've got child stuff to sort out. My daughter's staying with us at the moment, so I'm going to have to. So apologies, I should have said earlier, but I'm going to have to jump off in a minute. As you know, it's that sort of time, and I'm sure.
That's fine. Well, leave me to it, mate. We just got
the hot hatch. I'll let you get on with
through.
the hot hatch on that. And apologies, everybody. Looking forward to seeing you all on Saturday. Please, if you see me in the paddock, come and say hello. It's always great to catch up with everyone, and I'm sure I will squeeze my big face in at some point on the cameras, even if it's just tormenting Chris. We appreciate everyone's support on this. We really want to get things moving, and we need everyone to help us. So everyone who signed up, big thank you. And as we kept saying as well, please, anything that we can do, any shout outs, anything like that, get it over to Chris or myself or to Emma or anyone in the team, and we will make sure we do as much as we can to help and push. And we loved, sorry, Chris, we loved the interaction, didn't we, from the family and people involved on the day. So please keep that going. It really meant a lot to everyone, and I think that's the beauty with it on the day. So me signing out. So thanks, Chris, and I shall see you. Cheers, Tim, and I'll see you all Saturday.
Fantastic. You take it steady, mate. So we'll remove Tom there. No night, Tom, says Emma Strawford. And Emma's also backing up the point that says Bob's 1969 car, so the Macon 07 is a 1969 car, shipped in from America. How amazing is that? That would be, I'm looking forward to that. That should be so cool. Right, so I will just get through this fairly quickly, so I'm not keeping you all for too much longer. Thank you for all watching, and I hope it's okay. The Hot Hatch Challenge is the last one to cover for Saturday's activities. We've got Josh Harvey out in the Harvey's Autotech Honda Civic in Class A, and also in Class A is 169 William Oakley, intriguingly in the Red Bull Racing Peugeot 205. Will, we need to have a chat about that. Of course, we got the very rapid 211 Chris Southcott in the Imperial Homes sponsored Peugeot 205. Of course, he's hot off the double victory. Sadly, we haven't got Dan Brown by the looks of it. He's not entered into this one. I know that he was talking about I forget what it is. Something was down. I just remember something being down, and I'm assuming he's not entered because it's just not looking good at all. Ross Parker says Josh tested Monday, looked well. Good. That's good to hear that Josh Harvey's car is looking good. That Honda Civic. Sam Stride's back out in the Silver Lake Racing Run Honda Civic EG. Good to see that 881 car is going to be out there. We know that's going to be very, very quick. Maybe even put some pace on Chris Southcott as well. Keep him honest, which is what we want to see. Class B, we've got Lee Waterman in the Willen Service Centre Run MGZR. Another MGZR, familiar name, James Blake, number 39. He's out there as well. Dan needs sponsors, so Dan Brown needs sponsors. I recommend it. He actually secured, and I don't know whether he even knows this yet, but I'm going to say it anyway. He won our recommendation for driver of the day. For the whole day, Dan Brown was our driver of the day on the 4th of July. Incredible performance. If you didn't see it, first ever race meet, and he was actually leading race number 2. He was just a phenomenal driver by the looks of it. A great looking car. He needs sponsors apparently, but we want to see him back out there. So, please get in touch. He is a very interesting looking driver. Sorry, Lee Waterman, number 12 in the MGZR. James Blake, 39, the iTech Racing MGZR. Tony Cooper, I know you're watching, mate. Good to see that Tony Cooper, or Anthony Cooper, as it is officially when it's on the race entry list normally, but we know him as Tony Cooper of Cooper Cars Southwest Limited in his silver Peugeot 106 GTI. Thank you, Pete Spiller. He lost compression. I was trying to remember what it was, Pete. Thanks, mate. That Dan Brown lost compression. Tim Perry said it was amazing to see him. It was just a phenomenal drive, wasn't it? Class C, the beautiful Peugeot 106 GTI of Sean Govard, prepared by Was Racing. Obviously, our very own Will de Claudio, a famous name in our parts, isn't he? But he's prepared this car, and it looks stunning. White and blue flashes on it. It just looks great, and it goes very well as well. Paul Bird, number 53, in another Peugeot 106 GTI. Lewis Bird. We saw him talking earlier. Lewis Bird's going to be out. I've been racing against him in sim racing during this lockdown period. He's a lot better at that than me, as well as probably in the real world. But he's just got his license this year, and he's going to be out. He was hoping to be out at the beginning of this year, but obviously we know everything that's happened. He wasn't there for 4th of July. He didn't think, last I knew, he didn't think that he was going to be out at all this year. But the good news is he's got things sorted and he is out there ready to race in the Citroen Saxo VTS. Nick Mizzen, if you haven't seen the COMBE Racing Talks latest, it's an e-magazine because obviously we can't print out paper and get it sent to everybody. So it's an e-magazine. But I put together a story about Nick where sadly he lost his wife to cancer. He's had cancer. Just a tremendous story, a heartbreaking story, but a tremendous story of determination and why we love seeing him up there. And he nearly won the championship and what have you last year when he was just coming in, just to try and give him something else to do. And yet it turned out like that. So Nick is still out there in his Ford Fiesta, new engine from memory from Nick Mizzen this year as well. So that'll be interesting to see how that one's going to go for him. 71 Simon Hughes in his Honda Civic, 113 Sean Deacon in his another Peugeot 106 GTI, 265 Gary Franks in the Mini Cooper R50. And a Ford Puma out. Mark Pope, 987, the SRP Motorsport run car, the Ford Puma. I am looking forward to seeing a Puma out there. That's probably worth a bob or two these days, isn't it, as well, a Puma. Class E, which, of course, is the Minis. You've got a great representation here. 69 Stephen Jensen. He was going great guns on the last race, the ME7 Motorsport and jensenracing.co.uk car. 78 Simon Fisher. 79 James Campher. 84, we were just talking about him a minute ago, Steve Bracegirdle in the Wayne Poole Racing Run Mini. Remember, that is, I got a mental block. Who's the Lando Norris? Lando Norris's car that he got his racing license in. That Mini that Steve Bracegirdle races. Incredible story, really. 95 Paul Dickinson, Gordano Motorcycle Training supported car. Darren Duffield, we saw him commenting a little bit earlier. Thank you for those comments, Darren. Darren's back out again in the PVE Performance Vehicle Engineering sponsored Mini Cooper S, and still learning, I think, is the fair assumption that he was saying as well. And keep it going, Darren. You looked great out there on the 4th of July. 153 Martin Hathaway in his BMW Mini R53. Ryan Cook 155, the Benjamin Smiles and Duffy Motors Mini Cooper R53. So great representation in that class. And finally, let me just make sure I've got the pages in the right order, which I haven't because I need that page as well. Class F, Adam Perrott. He was looking good as well, out in the MTech Automotive and Motorsport Electronics sponsored Renault Clio 172. Number 9, Mike Wyatt in the iTech Racing Run Honda Civic. 14, Nick Winnett in the Pure Motorsport and YOLO Racing Renault Clio. Graham Cox, number 55, in the Wayne Poole Racing Run Renault Clio. Wayne's going to have a busy weekend, isn't he? 61, Ben Ogborn in the Anderson Race Engines and Image Motorsport sponsored Vauxhall Astra. 74, Michael Bland in that lovely sort of lime green Peugeot 306. And will get quicker as this year goes on, I have no doubt. 81, Tim Adams in the Honda Civic. And finally, 117, Lewis Clark in the Ford Fiesta. And Ross Parker says, we'll be out next time. Car wasn't quite ready. Big shout out to Terry building the car in his own time. So it's as fast as the baguettes in Class B. The baguettes. The baguettes. What's that? I've got to look back now to see what that actually refers to, mate. The baguettes. But there we go. Understandably, David Vass, get well, my friend, soon. He is obviously the coordinator for the hot hatches. Good luck to all hot hatch drivers in my absence. P.S. Ray throwing up Ferguson, why are you not doing the hot hatch races? I thought 5 races in a day was a normal for you. I agree, mate. I agree. I was expecting to see his name there with the 2 saloons, the Dave Allan and the 2 hot hatches. We have seen him do that, haven't we? It's just amazing. Chris Pearson, cracking grids. I'm going to have my work cut out capturing all the action. Aren't you just, mate? Are you actually there, are you, Chris? I didn't know you were going to be there, mate. Make sure you wave and we'll catch up. Tim, the question's being asked, where did the Dilly Dilly Marshalls idea come from? It did come from Dave Rogers. Well, actually, it was me and Dave, because I was in a barbecue and I was drinking the Bud Light and he started Dilly Dilly. I started Dilly Dilly, and then he was doing it everywhere he went, basically. And he's the one that's then carried it on after our banter in the early stages. And, once Dave gets going, there's nothing stopping him. There we go. Thank you very much, Tony Cooper. I think Ross is referring to my French car. He can only dream. I didn't mean to cause a war there. Baguette equals French cars. Nick winner. I should have seen it. Apologies. I got lost. Oh, Chris Pearson. Yes, got approval. I see you there then, mate. Make sure you give us a shout. You know where I'll be. And Gerald Howe, big shout out to the Orange Army flying the flag for COMBE over the weekend at this insignificant event at Silverstone, especially Steve Weston and Helen McGee with her awesome hair colouring. So we should be able to spot her. Stay safe, guys, and enjoy. Yes, and the point being, MSN, a very limited number of media. That's why I didn't know Chris was there. So well done for managing to get in that. Let's have a look. No, Tim, you saying, okay, sorry, now I know the truth. It was definitely Dave Rogers, but the point being is that me and I had a bit of a banter first stand for the dilly, but it's him that's then just carried it on and made it massive. He really has. And Mr. Nichols says, Ross Barker, of course, he would normally be in the baguettes as well. Yes, so that is the race day. That is the entry list. I mean, it really is just looking fantastic, isn't it? I mean, you look at the number of cars on that. And when you consider that there's that number, but in reality, we're talking 5 races. I know it's 11 races, but you consider it's double head for our championships. It's just absolutely amazing to see the numbers. Thank you to all of the drivers. And I know a number of you said, come on, we got to try and support the Castle Combe Racing Club. We're doing all we can to support you as much as possible. But honestly, the comments that have been coming in and going, let's keep this one going. So thank you to everybody who's entered. Stay safe, have fun. Enjoy the feed. We will be going live, as I say, about 11:30, and it will be sort of about an hour's worth build up towards the race, there or thereabouts. And you've seen the cameras. They're still actually, let me just bring them back up again. They're still whizzing around there in the background. Emma Strawford's made a good point. Hats off to Miss Joe as well. Yes, Joe Lukovic has done a great job in helping to get those numbers up. Absolutely right. It's it's just wonderful to see, and thank you for everyone who has who's liaised with Joe and understood that she's under massive pressure to make all this work. I just can't wait. Look at those cameras. I mean, look at that as the sun's setting live right now. That is over the Castle Combe circuit. That just gets me really excited about this weekend. Look at those beautiful sights. We will bring you all the action. Fingers crossed, totally uninterrupted. And let's just enjoy it. Make sure you're on board. Get your comments coming in. Get your questions coming in. Get your banter coming in. Get your knowledge. If there's things you know that we might not know because we're sort of locked where we have to be and we don't get to go, and I don't get to do my usual sort of interacting with everyone, that everybody who's there knows that I really love to be able to catch up with you all in the paddock. I don't get to do much of that at the moment, sadly. And it's a bit hollow for me on that front, as I'm sure you can all appreciate. So awesome job. Look at that. Kevin, thank you. King Kev, I'm calling him now because the work he's doing there to make this work. He's still there now, as far as I'm aware. The fact that these are on means he's still doing some cable in there. The one that's not showing us is the quarry one. But that's really it from now. That's been episode 27, the preview for the race. Episode 28 will be from 11:30 on Saturday. And you make sure you set the reminder for it, because if we happen to go live a little bit earlier, it will notify you. If we go, just a couple of minutes late, I've got like a 10-minute window after that due time. Otherwise, it cancels the whole show. So if I'm like 5 minutes late or whatever, it will then just notify you that we've gone live. So get in. Great to see. Lewis Bird says, I'm very excited and a little nervous. This is his first race. Good news, Lewis. We had several of the guys that it was the first race when on the 4th of July. So just enjoy it, mate. Just enjoy it. Oh, Chris Mason says merch ordered. Good man. You're going to fit into that baby grow then, are you, mate? Love it. But thank you to Ben Oggs. Of course, he said it'd be so much better for spectators. Can't believe how much better the cameras are. Thank you, mate. And I'll pass that on to him. And oh, that's a point. Yeah, sorry, I hadn't clocked that. No Tony Dolly. Sadly, we'll be looking at the cameras. There's no engine available for the Peugeot 206 or Leon this time. That's a good point. I'd missed that you weren't there, mate. I'd only seen you on, Sunday at the Castle Combe Racing School. That is a real shame, mate. Well, make sure you're glued. We're going to have some fun. Let's do it. Oh, and Steve Davey, who's out in the Honda as well, saying it's his first time at COMBE as well. Well, make sure you chat to the guys, Steve, because those that have been there, and I know you've got all your Synchro Motorsport crew, but don't shy away from the locals. They will give you all the advice that's necessary. That's the spirit of Castle Combe. That's why COMBE TV exists, is the COMBE family. Hashtag COMBE family. Dilly dilly, we're all together. I love it, and I can't wait to bring you the coverage live on Saturday. But for now, from myself, Chris Dawes, from everybody here at Castle Combe Racing Club, Castle Combe Circuit, and of course, Tom, thank you for the COMBE TV coverage for this evening. But for now, have a very good evening. We'll see you on Saturday. All the very best.